Hello, Ari Waldman. This is my keritot, day 2. We're going to go for 20 minutes, roughly 9 o'clock we'll stop. Thursday, December 10th, 2020, the 24th of Kislev, technically it's the 25th. Happy Hanukkah. I'm going to be practicing pausing. My name is Ari Waldman. I'm a person who stutters. Mishna keritot in the Sefer Aria 1. Shloshim v'shesh keritot b'Torah haba al ha'am ve'al ishet ha'av ve'al hakala haba al ha'zechur ve'al ha'behema ve'isha ha'mivia et ha'behema aleha haba al isha uvita ve'al eshet ish haba al achota ve'al achot aviv ve'al achot imo ve'al achot ishto ve'al eshet achi ve'al eshet achi aviv ve'al hanida ve'al hamigadev ve'oved avoda zara ve'hanotin mizaro lamolech uve'al ov hamechalel et hashabat V'tamei she'achal et hakodesh v'aba lamikdash tamei ha'ochel chelev v'dam notar ufigul hashochet v'hamala male b'chutz ha'ochel chametz b'fesach v'ha'ochel v'ha'oseh melacha v'yom ha'kippurim Mefatim et hashemen, v'mefatim et ha'ketoret, v'hasach b'shemen ha'mishcha, pesach, v'hamila, b'mitzvot aseh. There are in the Torah 36 transgressions which are punishable with karet. When one has intercourse with his mother, his father's wife, or his daughter-in-law, when a man has intercourse with a male or a beast, or when a woman brings a beast upon herself, when one has intercourse with a woman and her daughter, or a married woman, or with his sister, or with his father's sister, or with his mother's sister, or with his wife's sister, or his brother's wife, or the wife of his father's brother, or with a menstruating woman, one who blasphemes the Lord, one who worships idols, or dedicates his children to Molech, or has a Baal Ov, or desecrates the Shabbat, when an unclean person eats of sacred food, or when one enters the precincts of the temple in an unclean state, when one eats forbidden fat, or blood notar or pigul, when one slaughters or offers up a consecrated animal outside the temple, one who eats leavened on Pesach, one who eats or works on Yom Kippur, one who compounds the oil of anointing, or compounds incense, or uses unlawfully oil of anointing, and when one transgresses the laws of the Pesach and circumcision from among positive commandments. Al elu chayovim al zdonam karet v'al shig gigatam chatat v'al lo hoda shalahen Asham taloi chutz min ha mitame mikdash v'kadashov mifnei shehu be'ole v'yored. Divrei asham taloi chutz min ha mitame mikdash v'kadashov mipnei shehu be'ole v'yored. Divrei Rabbi Meir v'chachomim omrim af hamigodif shene'amar b'midbar Tedvav Torah achat yelachem laosa. Bishgaga yotza megadif she'eno osa masa. For these transgressions, one is liable to karet if committed intentionally, and if committed unwittingly, to a chatat. If there is a doubt whether he had committed the transgression, to an asham taloi, except in the case of one who defiled the temple or its consecrated things, for in that case one is liable, in this case, to a sliding scale sacrifice. The words of Rabbi Meir, but the sages say, also, the blasphemer is an exception, as it says, you have one law for one that acts in error, Numbers 15:29. This excludes the blasphemer, who performs no action. Yesh meviot karban v'neachal, v'yesh meviot, v'eino neachal, v'yesh einan meviot, elu meviot karban v'neachal ha-mapelet. Kimin behema chaya va'of, divrei Rabbi Meir v'chachamim omrim ad sheyehe vo mitzurat ha'adam ha-mapelet, sandal o shilya v'shofir merukam v'hayotze mechutach v'chein shivcha shehi pila mevia carbon v'nechal. Some women after childbirth bring an offering which is eaten, some bring one which is not eaten, and some bring no offering at all. These bring an offering which is eaten. If a woman miscarries a fetus which has the shape of a beast, or a wild animal, or a bird, the words of Rabbi Meir, but the sages say only if it has a human shape, or if a woman miscarries a sandal-like fetus, or a placenta, or a fully formed fetus, or one that comes out in pieces. Similarly, if a female slave miscarries, she brings an offering which is eaten. Elu meviot ve'eno ne'achal ha-mapelet ve'en yadua ma hapila v'chein shtei nashim shehipilu achat mimin patur ve'achat mimin chova amar Rabbi Yosei ematai bisman shahalchu lo zo lemizrach v'zo lema'arav aval im hayu shtehen omdot ka'achat meviot karban v'nechal. The following bring an offering which is not eaten, a woman who miscarries but does not know what the miscarriage was, or if two women who have a miscarriage, one of a kind which did not render her liable to an offering, and the other of a kind that does render her liable to an offering. Rabbi Yossi said, when this is so, this applies only if one went towards the east and the other towards the west, but if both remain together, they bring together one offering which is eaten. Elo she'enan meviot mapelet shfir male mayi male dam male geninim mapelet kemin dagim v'hagavim shekatzim ure mashim hamapelet yom arba'im v'yotze dofen Rabbi Shimon mechayev b'yotze dofen. The following do not bring a sacrifice: a woman who discharges a sack filled with water, or with blood, or with pieces of flesh. Or if the miscarriage was in the shape of a fish, locust, unclean animals, or reptiles. Or if the miscarriage took place on the 40th day after the conception. Or if it was extracted by means of a caesarean section. But Shimon declares her liable to an offering in the case of a caesarean section. Hamapelet or lishmonim ve'echad ba shamai potrin min hakarban bein beit hillel mechayvin amru beit hillel leveit shamai ma shna or lishmonim ve'echad miyom shmonim ve'echad im shave lo latum'ah Lo yeshave, lo lekarban, amru lahem beit shamai. Lo im amartem, b'mapelet yom shmonim, v'achad shekain yatsa, v'sha'a. Shehi ru'uya, lahavi v'karban tomru, v'mapelet or lishmonim, V'yachad shalo yatsa v'sha shehi ru'uya lahaviva karban amru lahen ba hillel v'hare hamapelet yom shmonim v'echad shachal liyot b'shabat tochiach shalo yatsa v'sha shehi ru'uya lahaviva karban v'chayavet V'chayevet, bakarban amru lahem, beit shamai lo im amartem, b'mapelet yom shmonim, v'echad shechal liyot b'shabat she'af al pi she'eno, ra'oi lekarban yochid, ra'oi lekarban sibur, tomru b'mapelet, or lishmonim. V'echad she'elu halayla, ra'oi lo lekarban yachid, v'lo lekarban sibur. Hadamim einan mochichin, sheha mapelet, betoch lot, dameha, tmein ufatura, min hakarban. If a woman miscarries, on the eve of the 85th day, Beit Shammai say she is exempted from an offering, but Beit Hillel say she is liable. Beit Hillel said to Beit Shammai, what is the difference between the eve of the 81st day and the 81st day itself? Since these are considered equal with regard to blood uncleanness, why should they not be considered equal also with reference to the offerings? Why should they not be considered equal with also reference to the offerings? Beit Shammai said to them, no, if you said this in the case where she miscarries on the 81st day, where it occurred at a time when she was fit to bring an offering, can you say this when she miscarries on the eve of the 81st day, where it did not occur at a time when she was fit to bring an offering? Beit Hillel said to them, the case of a woman who miscarries on the 81st day, which fell on Shabbat, shall prove it, where it did not take place at a time when she was fit to bring an offering, and yet she is liable to bring a new offering? Beis Shammai said to them, no, if he says this of the 81st day, which fell on a Shabbat, for although it is not fit for offerings of an individual, it is at least fit for communal offerings. Would you maintain this concerning a woman who miscarries on the eve of the 81st day, seeing that the night is fit neither for offerings of the individual nor for communal offerings? As to your argument of uncleanliness of the blood, it proves nothing. For if she aborted within the period of cleanness, the blood is unclean, and yet she's exempted from an offering. Ha'isha sheyesh aleha sfeik chamisha zivot usfeik chamisha leidot mevia karban echad ve'ochelet bazvachim ve'ein hashar aleha cholva chamesh leidot vadaot chamesh zivot vadaot mevia karban echad ve'ochelet bazvachim ve'hashar aleha cholva maaseh she'amdu kinim b'Yerushalayim b'dinrei zahav amar Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel hama'on hazeh lo olin halayla ad shiyu b'dinarin nichnas levet din v'limed ha'isha sheyesh aleha chamesh leidot vadaot chamesh zivot vadaot mevia karban echad ve'ochelet bazvachim ve'ein hashar aleha chova ve'amdu kinim bo vayom b'rive atayim. If a woman had 5 doubtful genital discharges or 5 doubtful births, she needs to bring only one offering, and she may eat sacrifices immediately, and she is not liable to bring the other offerings. If a woman had 5 certain births or 5 certain genital discharges, she brings one offering and may then eat sacrifices immediately, and she is liable to bring other offerings. It once happened in Jerusalem that the price of a pair of doves rose to a golden dinar. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel said, by this sanctuary I shall not go to sleep tonight before they cost but a silver dinar. Then he entered the court and taught, if a woman had 5 certain births or 5 certain genital discharges, she needs to bring only one offering, and she may then eat sacrifices, and she is not liable to bring the other offerings. Thereupon, the price of a pair of birds stood at a quarter of a silver dinar each. Arba mechusrei chipurim va'arba'a miviin al hazadon b'kishgaga elu hein mechusrei kipurim haza v'hazava v'hayoledet v'hamitzora. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Amer ger mechusar kapara al ad she yizarek olav hadam the nazir leyeno the tiglachto, the tum'ata. There are 4 persons who require a ceremony of atonement, and there are 4 who bring a sacrifice for willful as well as inadvertent transgression. The following are those who require a ceremony of atonement: the zava, the woman who gave birth, and the Metzora. Rabbi Eliezer ben Jacob said, also a convert is regarded as a person who still requires a ceremony of atonement until the blood has been sprinkled for him. The same applies to the Nazirite with reference to wine, haircutting, and uncleanness. This is the end of my video Mishnayot Day 2. Goodbye.